All right, y'all. The rumors out of Cleveland are absolutely wild. Word is GM Andrew Berry has some massive roster decisions to make, and it looks like Shedeur Sanders could be on the move. But before we dive into that, do me a huge favor, hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. We just hit 5,000 subscribers, so we're very happy about that. Appreciate all y'all that subscribe, and it really helps the channel. So it's June, and the quiet period is just plenty of stuff going on. It's Monday. There's nothing for people to do, nothing for people like the radio stations, and they need some excitement. So Tony Rizzo over ESPN Cleveland just morning dropped the bomb, reporting that the teams are actively calling the Browns and check on Shedeur Sanders' availability. And it's crazy because outside teams clearly recognize his talent, even if the local reporters and media hates trying to act like it's not there. We don't know for sure yet. Is this true from the front office? It might actually look like they want to trade him. We don't know, just to escape all the intense public pressure and media scrutiny. And let's look at a couple of clips courtesy of 92.3 The Fan to see what's really going on.
Nick, why is this even a competition? It is where I'm at. Like, Deshaun Watson hasn't been a good quarterback in 6 years.
I'll tell you why it's a competition, and I truly believe this. It's because if Shedeur is going to do anything in the NFL, he has to win over the locker room. And I think there are plenty of guys in that locker room that like him, but to be an anointed quarterback, you have to basically get as many guys on your side as possible. I don't know he had that last year because of the position he was in.
That's fair. And I feel like, the position that he was in kind of clouds even this year. The fact that they tried to do the 4-man quarterback competition thing and Shedeur was throwing to ball boys at this time last summer, I feel like currently is holding Shedeur back in this competition against Deshaun Watson. Because why is everybody reporting that Watson has this inside edge? It's because he's the veteran in the room, because he's seen it all. He's been in different offenses. He led the league in passing 6 years ago, and Shedeur just doesn't have that same experience because this time last year he was being treated like an afterthought.
Exactly, man. Shedeur has a real shot at taking this job. And let's be honest, Deshaun Watson may be done. We don't know for sure, and I'm not wishing nothing on nobody, but it's been a while, man. It's been 6 years, whatever it is. And we know that there's a massive group of haters out there who want Shedeur Sanders traded because they never wanted to see him succeed in the first place. They don't want him on the field no matter what he does. Now, we got Scott Petrak. He broke this whole situation down over at 92.3 The Fan. And so let's check him out.
Let me ask you this question. And I ask you, what have we learned about being the media circus? What have we learned about how they handle quarterbacks? Because I thought last year was really interesting in camp that they brought 2 veterans in and then they let them go and then they went young. I'm just, what have we learned about the way this future could play out with this group that they now have? I just, there's too many bodies there, so something's got to change.
Yeah, I'm not sure you can take away anything, Andy. I'm really not. I think these 2 years are outliers because the Deshaun Watson contract that mucks everything up, and you can only do so much, and you're tied to him for $46 million this year. It just makes it really difficult to move on. And then you get the young guy in Shedeur. So I think after this year, you'll get a much better sense, and then theoretically, either it'll be Shedeur Sanders as your starter, or you go draft a guy that you plan to be your starter for the next decade. And then you can have some stability there. But right now, I think it's really trying to patch things together. And I certainly think that's how it was the year before, too.
Scott, let me ask you this, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I have a theory that theory, gut feeling, whatever. I kind of feel like it might not be as guaranteed that Shedeur Sanders is on this team this fall. Do you think I'm just completely off base on that?
Well, kind of. I guess if they drafted Sorsby, then that would be an impetus to trade Shedeur. You can make the argument that if Watson wins a starting job, then, Shedeur, not himself, but everything that surrounds Shedeur could be a distraction, and you don't want that from the backup. I don't subscribe to that. I also think if Watson wants to win the starting job and he gets hurt after 3 games, then you need to go to Shedeur Sanders, right? Because I don't think Dylan Gabriel's a starter. So I don't think that makes sense, but that doesn't mean – but I understand where you're going. I just think there would have to be a bunch of things that happen for that scenario to even be an issue.
I know this is super generic. How competitive do you think they're going to be next year? I look at the defense and I feel good about it. Like, I feel like this defense can hang in the NFL. And then I look at all of these new names. What I think I don't even want to speculate. I can't remember. But just you look at all these new names on offense and you're like, I just don't know how this is going to mesh.
Well, that's interesting. I think talent-wise, there's reason to believe the offense can be significantly better. When you look at the offensive line, assuming it can stay healthy, you look at the 2 rookie receivers, the expected improvement from Isaiah Bond and even Jerry Jeudy. I think, and Todd Monken, right? What's Todd Monken to do for this offense? I think there's a chance that the offense is significantly better. It all comes down to the quarterback. And if the quarterback play is average, I think this team can win 7 games, because I think outside of quarterback, I don't have a ton of questions about this roster. But I have a ton of questions about the quarterback spot.
All right. Hit them straight this afternoon. I'm hoping that your handicap is getting better here at some point, right?
Well, you know what? Not that anybody cares. It went down at the end of last year because I was playing really well, and then it's gone up a little bit at the start of this year. So I'm trying to bring it back down.
If there was a tour champion for Browns media, where would you
look? At the end of the day, one thing you got to understand about this team is Andrew Berry is always looking to upgrade. Always. It doesn't matter who you are, what you've done, or how big your name is. If he feels like there's a better option out there, he's going to explore it. And we've seen it before. Moves that people didn't expect, decisions that made fans stop and say, wait a minute. Even situations involving guys like Myles Garrett, nothing is ever just locked in forever. This front office is constantly evaluating, and they constantly looking for the next move. So when you start hearing rumors, Shedeur Sanders trade talk, different QB conversations, you got to take a step back and ask yourself, is it real or is it just noise? Because right now we don't know. And that's the part that makes this so interesting, because with Andrew Berry, nothing is off the table. Nothing. So appreciate y'all, man, and keep it locked in, and see you in the next video.